Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. So today I'm not going to be doing anything technical or like super in-depth about fitness, but rather giving y'all a few tips and tricks and mainly covering 10 things that you should stop doing if you're trying to get fit. Now these are things that I wish I had known when I started my fitness journey about 5 years ago, and now after 5 years of working out and also my experience as a coach now, I sort of compiled all of these tips together so that I'd be able to help you guys in some way. So if you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel guys, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and also hit the bell button so you never miss another video from me again. Now without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna have to stop doing, put the brakes on, is yo-yo dieting. Okay, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically constantly skipping from diet to diet, going through periods where you're restricting yourself and then having these major periods where you're binging. So this is me telling you to stop right there. This is not an approach that is sustainable, and neither is it one that's effective enough to give you results. Okay, so if you are somebody who's been chronically dieting in an attempt to lose weight, please stop it right there and start eating normally. What I mean by normally is, if you live at home, just eat ghar ka khana, eat whatever 3-4 times a day as you used to when you were a child, when you weren't influenced by all of these advertisements and the media that we have out there. And over time, once you have changed your mindset with regards to food, once you stop labeling foods as good and bad, and you're in a much better spot mentally, that's when you can learn more about nutrition and also put yourself in a deficit without compromising too much on how much you're eating. The next thing that I want you all to stop doing right away is setting a timeline on your progress. Okay, so even when we have clients coming in, they say we want to lose 10 kilos in 3 months. Honestly, you cannot dictate numbers to your body, and no coach in this world is going to be able to guarantee you that you'd be able to lose X amount of weight per month. If they do tell you that, then they're probably lying, because everybody is so different, and all of us have such different histories with eating. We've got medical histories, we've got injuries that have to be taken into consideration. So everyone's journey goes at a different rate. Okay, so instead of setting a timeline, instead of just trying to lose some weight or get healthier for an event that's coming up in the near future, why don't you think about it in a way like you've got your whole life ahead of you to become healthier, to become the best version of yourself. So one day at a time, just try doing 1% better than you did yesterday. When you stop focusing so much on the timelines that you set for yourself, the less pressure you put on your own body and on your own journey. So you want to take it one day at a time, make it enjoyable for yourself, and trust me, this approach is going to change everything for you. The third thing that you have to stop doing is stop looking for shortcuts. Guys, stop googling fastest way to lose weight, stop googling fastest way to grow my glutes, fastest this, fastest that. There isn't one. And unfortunately, the truth is, if you Google these things, you're probably going to get an answer for it, because there is a market for everything. And even in the fitness industry, unfortunately, there is a market for utter nonsense, claims that are not backed by science. There's a lot of that out there. So I urge that you take the first step and stop looking for these things. Just stop. Now this brings me to point number 4. The fourth thing that you have to stop doing is trying out all of these concoctions that people put up online, claiming to help you lose weight or detox your body or have better skin, blah blah blah. These days there seems to be a trend of making these shots with turmeric and ginger and garlic and I don't know, all sorts of stuff that are apparently supposed to make you healthier, make you drop some weight. It's all nonsense, and you know that. Like, at the back of your mind, you know these things aren't going to work. But the problem is that in spite of knowing this, we go ahead and try it anyway. And I feel like the mentality behind that is that arey kuch nahi hoga, it's harmless, so why not give it a shot? Well, my point here is, if it doesn't work, then why are you wasting time on it? Why are you even incorporating it? जिस चीज से आपको फायदा ही नहीं हो रहा है, वो करना क्यों है? Right? If you are trying to make some progress, if you're trying to achieve something, then Why are you doing things that don't add any value to your journey? The fifth thing you have to stop doing is stop doing challenges. Stop doing 2-week, 4-week, 8-week challenges, because again, this comes back to setting a timeline for yourself, right? So in a way, these things are good because it could help you sort of get into the groove of working out, eating healthy, but more often than not, the end of these 2 weeks or 4 weeks is seen almost like a finish line by a lot of people who take part in these challenges, and they expect certain results at the end of those 2 or 4 weeks. I see a lot of these anecdotes going around saying, hey, I tried XYZ's, this particular program and I lost X amount of inches. And then someone else will come to me and say that, hey, I tried this program and I saw zero progress. So how is it possible that the same program has such different results for 2 different people? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's that all of us are different and we shouldn't try doing generalized programs and expect the results that are promised. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you're trying to, for example, grow your glutes, or if you want to grow your biceps, or if you are someone who's after, a lean midsection wherein you see some visible abs, no program in the world on YouTube is going to help you do that by itself. So when it comes to weight gain, weight loss, all these different changes that go on in your body, there are so many variables that go into it that one single variable will not be able to help you make that long-lasting change that you're after. Alright, so my advice is to ditch these programs altogether unless you are just using them as a tool to get into the groove of working out, get back on track with your nutrition. Just be sure to keep things going even after that 1 month challenge ends. Okay, the next thing you've got to stop doing is stop holding your weight as the only metric for your progress. Okay, your weight doesn't tell you everything, and we all pretty much know this already. So a few different ways that you can track your progress are going to be, get a bioelectrical impedance scale. You can get this off Amazon. It's not extremely expensive, and in my opinion, it's a very good investment to have. Generally, these scales measure your weight, your body fat percentage, lean body mass, body water, visceral fat, metabolic age, etc, etc. And I know that these things aren't 100% accurate, but instead of using the numbers that you see as absolute values, you can use them as reference points to make sure that you're going in the right direction. The next thing that you can use to measure your progress is a measuring tape, right? That's pretty much the old school traditional way of checking for progress. So just keep a little diary in which you take a few basic measurements. So maybe your neck, your chest, your arms, so around the bicep region, your waist, your hips, your thighs, and your calves. Okay, so sometimes what happens is the scale doesn't tell you enough, but the measurements are changing, so you know something is happening in your body. And also that brings me to the next mode of judging your progress, and that is clothing. Now this may not be super accurate, but I'm sure you've all experienced this, in which there's maybe a pair of jeans that you have that you haven't fit into for a very long time, and then suddenly after a month of training and eating right, you feel like I can actually sort of wiggle into it. That's where you know that things are working out for you. But at the same time, I would not recommend that you try squeezing back into clothes that you used to fit into like years ago. If you are somebody who gets triggered by these things, then maybe measuring your progress through clothing may not be the best option. But if it doesn't upset you, then these things can be used as well. The next thing you've got to stop doing is stop comparing your first day to someone else's 200th day. Why aren't my shoulders as defined as that person? Or why don't I have glutes as big as this person? These comparisons are not necessary, and in fact they yield no value at all. You're just going to end up feeling bad about yourself. But you have to remember that these people have spent years of training to get to where they are today, and I'm sure they still have goals to crush. I know that 5 years later, I'm nowhere near done yet. I'm nowhere near, achieving my goals in terms of my strength, my performance, my physique. And I think once you get into this journey, there is never going to be a finish line. You're never going to be happy with where you are. But that being said, you do need to take a second, take a step back, and just think about how far you've come and appreciate how much effort you're putting into these things every single day. So when you change your perspective in that manner, it's more likely to be beneficial for you. Now, the next thing that you have to stop doing is stop copying somebody else's diet program or training program. Okay, let's say you have a friend who has been absolutely crushing it at their fitness goals. Don't go and ask them how much do you eat, what are your macros, how is your training split designed, because honestly it may not work for you at all. Now, when it comes to coaching, I have a few clients who are maintaining their current physique at 2600 2700 calories, and for someone else, if I give them that many calories to eat, they are probably going to put on a huge amount of fat in a very short period of time. So your macros and your calories are very, very different. It differs person to person. So please do not copy someone else's program, even if they look like, you know, their physiques are similar to yours. They have a different training history, they have a different body composition. There are so many things that go into creating nutrition programs for people, so don't copy that, because you're more likely to get discouraged than anything else. Similarly, for the training program, if you try doing something that isn't suitable for you, you could end up injuring yourself, and that could mean weeks of training, and that's just not worth it in my opinion. Okay, the next thing you've got to stop doing is stop looking at the mirror every single day and pointing out your flaws. Okay, this may sound like a very unimportant tip, but it's so very important. Trust me, I have days when I'm just staring at myself in the mirror and just picking out flaws. If you are somebody who is struggling with this, I was struggling with it till a week ago, and then I just took a break from looking at mirrors. So the table in my room that I use for working is also my vanity. So I have like this vanity mirror over there, and that's why every time I would work, I would end up looking at myself in the mirror. And initially I didn't think that was a bad thing, but over time, every time I look up at myself, I started pointing out some flaw or the other, and that is what you want to avoid. What I started doing after that is I just sit to the side of the mirror so I can't look at myself directly in it. And it seems like an overly simplified solution. That was my approach too. So after 2 days of sitting away from the mirror, I realized that the mirror isn't as intimidating anymore. I actually start feeling good about myself. I'm sure you get what I mean to say. So please stop pointing out your flaws. All of us have our problem areas. All of us have those days where we are having body image issues, but self-love is important. Now, the last thing that you absolutely have to stop doing is stop telling yourself and everyone else around you that you don't have time. If you say that, I'm going to say that you're lying. Everybody has time, whether you need to wake up early to get your workout done, or you need to spend some time at night getting it done before sleeping, or whether you need to spend a couple of hours on a Sunday prepping your protein for the rest of the week so you don't go off track. Honestly, if it's a priority for you, you're going to make time. So now let's say you are dating somebody. Imagine telling them every day that, sorry, I don't have time for you. Sorry, I don't have time to meet. You're not going to do that because they're your priority and you're going to make time for them. So treat your health and fitness journey like you would treat your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Please prioritize it. Prioritize your health, especially in these times. Ever since the pandemic struck us last year, I know it's been pretty bad, and the one thing that we've got control over is our health, right? So if you have the ability to work out, that itself is a blessing. If you have food on the table, that also is a blessing. So I urge you to use whatever resources you have available. Stop complaining and please just start taking action. If you're thinking about making a change and you just never act upon it, then I really don't know what to tell you. Please call yourself out if you realize you're making excuses, and that will be the first step that you take towards a successful and sustainable journey towards your health and fitness. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you managed to learn something from it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button so you never miss another video from me again. And also let the rest of us know if you have any other lessons that you have learned through your fitness journey that you want to share with the rest of the world. Alright, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!